real-world experience that IT Master lecturers brought to each subject made their subjects tangible and relatable.
What appealed to me was that it was all designed for busy professionals.
I knew people who had studied at ITM, and it really aligned with what I needed in my job. Again, welcome. Looks like we're going to have a fairly small number of people here tonight, and there is a danger we may even have more presenters than guests, but we welcome you anyway. And first up, while we're talking about that, I would like to pay our respects to all First Nations elders, both past and present, from the lands where IT Masters students and staff reside. In particular, we acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the Wiradjuri, the Ngunnawal, Gundungara, and Burpai peoples of Australia, who are the traditional custodians of the lands where the Charles Sturt and IT Masters campuses are located. So for this evening, and you can see all of our pictures up here, this is the IT Masters crew, most of us. There's a couple of photos not up, and not all of us are here tonight, but quite a few of us are actually here, and we'll be hosting various rooms and sessions. What I'll just do is a bit of housekeeping for the moment. What we would ask while you're in the main room is to keep your mics on mute, because this is where we'll be doing primarily presentations. So the idea is we'll have the 3 or 4 presentations over the next hour or so, with plenty of chance to ask questions in between. And then in between that, and when you feel like you want to ask something a little bit more in detail, we would suggest that you go to one of our breakout rooms. And so our breakout rooms, we have a couple of course advisors that are sitting there, so you can talk about your specific requirements. Nikki and Ryan will be there to welcome you. So you can just click on the area that says more on your little black bar on Zoom, and it'll show breakout rooms, and you can just click on the list and it'll show you whether you can join or not in any of the rooms. All of the rooms are open now, by the way. As I said, 2 rooms of course advisors, Nikki and Ryan, so you can have quite an in-detail chat with them. If you've got questions about admissions or eligibility or credit, such as industry credit, or whether you've studied at another university in the past or not, then you can speak to Anna. And then we've got 3 rooms which are dedicated to our subject areas. In the first one is cybersecurity. So Dr. George Thomas, who is one of our mentors and a former student of ours, and Simon Jones, who I think was also a former student maybe as well, are both in there, and they teach quite a number of our subjects in cybersecurity. So you can have a chat to them about what you're interested in cyber and what they might have to explain to you about the course. Then there's the Cloud and Networks channel, which Ian Robertson, actually I should have removed Matt Constable's name. Unfortunately, Matt was unable to make it tonight. So it's Ian will be there hosting that. He hosts a couple of subjects as well as one of our mentors, and again, a former student. In the next room is our MBA and project management guru, Brenton, who teaches both areas within the school, and he is great. He's got a great depth of knowledge, so feel free to ask him about anything that you're particularly interested in that area. And finally, we thought it would be silly not to have some of our students. So we've got 2 very recent past students, Lauren Veenstra and Don Tibbetts, and Lauren will also speak for us a little bit later on. But just to go back to that, to give you an idea of the sort of things that are happening tonight. First, in a couple of minutes, Chantelle, our CEO, will speak a little bit about what makes IT Masters different and what the experience of studying with IT Masters is all about. Then in a little while after that, Dr. Sabih-Ur Rehman, who is a senior lecturer and our course director at Charles Sturt University, will give us a bit of a chat about the relationship. The Charles Sturt IT Masters partnership has been going since 2002, and it is really one of the enduring university private partnerships. And in fact, the way it's structured is quite unique. So there's a little bit to say about that. After that, at 7:50, will be My Cyber Career. George Thomas will talk to us about how he's leveraged his studies and what he's done to get to where he is now as both a career cyber person and also an ITM mentor. And finally, to wrap it up, just after 8 o'clock, Lauren Veenstra will talk about her experiences as a student and what you can sort of expect from being a student with IT Masters Charles Sturt. She is a recent winner of the University Graduate Medal for having a perfect GPA. So she's a very good student. Other than that, if you have questions, you will see in the chat that Kit and Lil, who are our very experienced moderators and people who really run everything and keep us on time and make sure we do what we're meant to be doing, they will be putting instructions and information in the chat session. But if you've got a question for us in this main room after listening to one of the presentations or during it, just pop it in the Q&A. And again, the Q&A will come up, I think, if you have more, if you press on the more bit, if you can't see it in the little black area at the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen. And then put the questions in the Q&A and we'll answer them there in the chat. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves or, ask Kit or Lil, questions about what time something's going on or how to get to the breakout room or something like that you might need to know. The idea being that we just keep the questions a bit separate from the chat. Sometimes the chat gets pretty voracious. I certainly know in our short courses it does. And as I said, there'll be questions in Q&As in between each of the presentations. And at the end, we'll invite everybody to come back in for the last couple of minutes for last questions as well. So I hope that this is interesting and informative. I hope you get your questions answered. Feel free to ask us pretty much anything. If we can't get an answer to you tonight, we can certainly, get some details and email you back if you email info@itmasters.edu.au as well, just in case there's something that one of us can't answer, which could be the case if it's a particularly curly one, and there usually are some curly ones about credit and the like. Having said that, it's probably time for me to shut up a little bit for a while, and I'd like to welcome Chantelle Hale, who's our CEO. In fact, Chantelle is the one staff member who has been with IT Masters since.
Don't tell them how long. It's not since the very beginning, but it's nearly since the beginning.
Sorry.
You'll let them know how old I am.
You started when you were a child.
Definitely, that's what happened.
Yes. But yes, thank you, Chantelle.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chantelle Hale, the IT Masters CEO. As Shane has just said, thank you for welcoming everyone tonight. I thought I would just quickly talk to you guys a little bit about IT Masters. If you're on our list, you probably know about us, but there might be some information here that you find pretty useful. So we were originally just established for those IT professionals who've been working in the industry for many years and have yet to get any formal degree, which there are a lot of back, 22 years ago when we first began, and there still are quite a few of, where you've been working in cybersecurity and you're quite high up and you really do need a university degree, but you're at a stage now where you're like, I don't think I can study about what is a network. So we partnered with Charles Sturt University in 2002 to offer these courses. They are 50% industry subjects. So these are based on industry, often industry qualifications, but just industry knowledge, and they're taught by our industry professionals, several of whom you can meet tonight and talk with. And then half of the subjects are what we call academic subjects. These are university-based subjects. Often they have more of a theoretical bent. They're taught by CSU lecturers. And Sabih, our amazing course director, can talk to you about those soon. And it aims to give you information both on that theory basis that is really helpful when you're learning about things, but also about how it is applied in real world scenarios, which is why learning from industry mentors is so useful. And as you can see here, IT Masters and Charles Sturt University have been a very successful partnership over the years. That domestic online postgraduate IT enrollments seems like a small piece of the pie, but we are very good at online education because we've been doing it for so long. We've always been an online education company. I don't think I know how to teach face-to-face, but I think we provide a really great service for our students online in particular. So if you're studying our courses, and we have ones in cybersecurity, cloud, project management, and MBA, and we have a computing career transition course that is, a little bit of everything, so you can do a bit of a taster. And a lot of the people who study our masters come with their own undergraduate or postgraduate qualification, and that's normally how you would get into a master's. You've done your bachelor's and it's time to study more. But a lot of our students have no university qualifications, and they come in through relevant work experience. And they'll start by studying a graduate certificate, that's 4 subjects, and then move into the master's degree. So they've already got that 4-subject graduate certificate, and they get 8 more subjects to study the master's degree. And some of the students, if they have some relevant work experience, but not quite enough, they'll start by doing our free short courses so that they can demonstrate to the university that they can study at a university level, that they have the ability to study these levels, but also those free short courses, which I'm sure a lot of you have done, because that is a lot of how we get a lot of our prospective students, is a taste tester for how it is to study with us at ITM Masters. They're usually taught by our mentors, and it's just usually like 4 weeks of a subject without the assessment that is quite so rigorous, because obviously there's thousands of people who do them. You can see that CSP available on selected grad certs is something that is really interesting to most of our students. It is a significant savings. We will not have it forever. So I do think if you are interested in that savings, to contact us straight away, because we can't guarantee how long we'll have it for. And if you do want to study at a postgraduate level with us, it is a really good way to get that first graduate certificate at a really significant savings. So because ITM Masters is a small organization that works with a large university, one of the things that we can really offer for our students is personalized, like assistance for our students that they know come from people who understand their scenario and what they're going through. We've got great student satisfaction rates. And one of the things we hear from so many of our students is how much they love being able to contact the ITM Masters admin team and to hear from us about, how to get an extension, or what to do if they don't know what to study next, or how to get credit, or any question they might have. They can contact us, even if CSU might be the person to contact. Often they contact us because we can put them immediately in contact with a person who can help, or we can even just answer the question without then having to go through a university helpline. The university is really great. They're really helpful. They're a really great university to study with, but students really do enjoy having that one number to call. And there's only so many courses we offer, so it's not a matter of going through different layers of student support. So we get some really great responses from students about how the courses we've designed are for them. They are aimed at industry professionals, people who work full-time, people who have limited time but want to study online. And it's a really great way to sort of involve themselves in study without having to take a break from work or anything like that. I'm not in charge of the slides, so thank you, Shane.
I'm just intuiting when to change them. I would just actually take this moment to remind people that the breakout rooms are active and people are there waiting. I know that you're saying fantastic stuff and they want to hear that, but maybe they've got specific questions to
And
add.
if you've heard it all before, I won't be offended if you leave for a breakout room. But there are numerous ways you can shorten your course duration, which is of a lot of interest to people who are working full-time and studying part-time, because I know you only have so much time in your day. If you've got previous university study, you might be eligible for credit, and we can assess that based on a subject-by-subject basis. A lot of the way that our students get credit is through industry certificates, like CompTIA, Prince2, Cisco, EC Council, all those sort of places. There are so many different places that IT industry certifications might count towards credit. These count towards the industry subjects they're relevant to, so that if you've already studied something, you don't have to study it again if you've got an industry cert that relates to it, you can get that credit without having to sit through the subject you already know. There is also the Australian Computer Society certification. So you can get 1 or 2 subjects credit for that one. And then if you sit 3 of our IT Masters free university short courses, you can get 1 subject's unspecified industry credit. And that's pretty exciting because a lot of you have already done those short courses. So you may as well sit 3 of them and then get 1 subject. So it means that you're not only saving time, but you're saving a lot of money as well. And in the end, you'll have the same qualification that everyone else has. So some of the ways that we think that we are a really unique and exceptional offering. So we work with a really great university. You get industry certification, but also that academic qualification. CSU is a really excellent university, Charles Sturt University, sorry, and you get that AQF accredited qualification. We're 100% online. We've always been online, and we focus on how to make life easier for people who are online. We're not just a face-to-face qualification that people shoved online in the hopes that that would get some new students. We know what we're doing, and we are 100% focused on those distance students. We've been doing this for 2 decades, more than. And so we're working with the times, but also we've tried a lot of things, and we know that some things won't work, but we also know what does work. We get really excellent student reviews. Students come back to us. They recommend us to friends. We think it's a really great experience for students. And then we've got so many people, not just on our free short courses, which obviously have really great numbers, but in our courses themselves, so that you can meet people like yourself, network with people like yourself, but also get that industry experience. So when you ask a question on the forums, you'll get a lot of knowledge coming back at you rather than just the teacher telling you what's happening there. Shane, if we want to move forward.
I think that's basically it. And we did promise that we would keep the presentations relatively short in each category tonight, on the basis that, you know, there's a lot to go through, and we think that a lot of people might be needing to speak in the breakout rooms. So I will continuously put this up during the evening so that people get a chance. Feel free to ask a question. I can see that Nilesh has tried to ask a question in the chat. We might ask if we can put this. I've already enrolled with the IT Masters in Graduate Cert in Cyber Session 3 and going to enroll in February. Okay, there's not an actual question. Please put the questions in the Q&A though, and then we can answer them in this area. But if you've got specific questions that you want to speak to somebody in detail, like there might be something about RPL, like something that you've done before that you want to find out about, Anna's sitting there in the admissions room, eligibility room, or you could speak to one of our course advisors about how to map out your course in order to get it done more quickly in the end, or you know, ask some of our mentors. I'm sure you get a bit of a chance to do it while you're actually sitting subjects, but this is a chance to, you know, quiz them a little bit now about how the subject's going to look if you're going to enroll for next year, for example, or thinking about enrolling. Try and give you some idea of the expectations of what you can see around and what might be coming up. I think it's great that you get a chance to engage with them. You know, it's sometimes being online feels like it's further away, but I think that we do try and encourage a very cooperative and very, you know, immersive experience as much as we can online. I notice that I don't sit any of the real subjects because I'm a, you know, IT laggard in many respects. However, I do work with a lot of our mentors when they're doing our short courses, and our short courses are a great way to try before you actually sit a full paid course, because the subject material that's in them is very similar, if not the same, as parts of our major courses. So we might do a short course, for example, on pen testing, and that will have a lot of relevance to our pen testing subjects. And so you're getting the same information delivered basically in the same way that we would deliver it during our online teaching. So it gives you a real chance to try before you buy. And as Chantelle was saying before, one of the nice things about that I notice in the chat and the forums is that people speak to each other, and often they answer the questions before we get around to answering them. And so, it is really worthwhile. And I would invite you to say hello in the chat. Maybe tell us where you're coming from tonight. There are people here on our end that are from all over Australia. In fact, from all around the place. Brenton, who is in our MBA and project management breakout room, takes the prize for being the furthest away. He's joining us from Singapore this afternoon, his time, in between going to, I think, Diwali events. Dr. Rehman Sabih is in Port Macquarie. We're here in Melbourne, Chantelle and I, in different places. And our other mentors, I think Ian might be coming to us from Brisbane, for example. And I'm not sure. I think Lauren might actually be in Brisbane, our former student as well, at a hotel. So one of the nice things about this is you'll often be speaking to our mentors and our people at places all around the country or from other parts of the world. Sometimes I know that some of our mentors deliver lectures from when they're traveling to America or Europe. One of our mentors lives in the Middle East somewhere, doesn't he, Chantelle?
I am unsure about that. We did have a marker who mentored for us many years ago who did. I don't think he does at the moment.
For some reason, I thought Philip was somewhere over there.
He's in Darwin, I think.
Well, no comment upon that. That's very naughty of me. So yes, if we've got any questions, feel free to ask. In the meantime, I would encourage you, as I said, to join the breakout rooms for a couple of minutes, because we will get Sabih to start speaking close to 7:30, so we'll give it another few minutes. So feel free to ask us questions or have a bit of a chat in the meantime, because we don't want to, in case somebody's been looking at the list of people, they might want to hold on a little while, so we won't rush ahead with things too much at the moment. So yeah, please, by all means, ask us questions or have a chat to us in the main room. Actually, I was always interested, Chantelle, in the fact that you are our academic person as well as our CEO, and yet we've got you doing the talk that is his IT Masters. Aren't we great? How are you enjoying doing the sales?
To be fair, so I've been education manager, academic manager for IT Masters for many years now. And then I became CEO as well. And so I am very interested in making sure, it is one of our key things, is making sure that our courses are academically rigorous. And Sabih, our course director, is in the same boat. He wants to make sure that our courses are achievable for our students, but at the same stage, they need to be, they're master's level courses, and that's really important to us.
And it is fair to say, I believe, and I'm sure Sabih can speak to this later on and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that as a rule, on average, IT Masters students tend to score slightly above average, tend to stay a bit longer in their courses and complete more, progress more, for a whole pile of reasons. One is that, we have a fantastic student group who work really hard, often because they haven't done study before. So they come into it with a work ethic and a dedication to doing it. And also, it's part of your career. Most of the people who do our courses have a very keen interest in their subject matter, and also a keen interest in progressing in their business, in their organization. And they're doing a master's degree or, a pathway to a master's degree in order to improve their work life. And so that's what we're always trying to be supportive of. But what it does mean is that it's a very clear pathway for people about what they're doing. They're very focused, and so they do tend to score better, and they hold us to account too. It is fair to say our students keep us on our toes and make sure that we don't get lax ever. Not that we have been, but I think it's fair to say that we elicit and encourage open and strong feedback about all our subjects. And when we get feedback that makes us sit and pause, we really do try and do something about it. So we update our courses regularly, we update our subjects regularly, and we also will listen if something doesn't seem to be going as well as it is, or for the things that are going well. We get some fantastic feedback. I know that Chantelle had on that slide the email from a a student. We only got that about 2 weeks ago. And that student was really helpful, or was really thankful of the help we got. And I would say that's probably one of the things that does set us apart as an institution, in that we're small enough to be able to engage with virtually all of our students on a very individual level. And if there's problems, if you're having problems with what you're doing, you're struggling for time, you're struggling for finding out what to do about a particular subject, then we will try and provide as much help as we can. To make sure that you get every opportunity to, sit the subjects, set the assessments, and get through them with, with a good record as well.
And I do think that's one of the important things for our students to know, is we obviously don't just give, long extensions for no reason, but we also do understand if you're a postgraduate studying online, working full time, people will need extensions and people will need flexibility, because this is not the most important thing in your life. As much as we'd like to think that university is incredibly important, if you've got kids and a spouse and a job, those are more important at today. So I think that's something that we always tell our students. If you're having trouble, please contact us and we can work something out.
Excellent. And I think we're only about a minute or two before the start time. So I think it's probably time to introduce Dr. Sabih-Ur Rehman, who is a senior lecturer and course director for all of our courses at Charles Sturt University. So we speak to Sabih all the time. He is the person that approves when you have unusual credits or you have a question about something. And I think somebody from IT Masters probably bugs him at least every day now. He's here since he's become the course director, but Sabih's been involved with IT Masters for many years. And we thought it would be great if he was able to speak to what had been happening over the past 22 years of the relationship between Charles Sturt and IT Masters, which, as I said, I think is a unique one. Is that true, Sabih? Welcome. Are you there, Sabih? He appears to have...
He was moving around. He was reacting.
It is. Thanks, Shane and Chantelle.
Yes, your video has stalled for some reason. It's always interesting in these
things. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. It is interesting because we, we're an IT organization and we got on air early and we tested everything. And now,
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you're back.
Now?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. So, and Chantelle for having me here. Really excited to be here. So let's get started, everyone. Probably the control is with Shane. So Shane, I would like you to move to the next slide. So a little bit of introduction about Charles Sturt. Okay, so as Shane has introduced me, my name is Sabih-Ur. I am the course director here at School of Computing, Mathematics and Engineering at Charles Sturt University. So Charles Sturt, as probably most of you guys already know, we are a multi-campus university, and we have got footprints across multiple locations in regional New South Wales. We offer courses in a variety of disciplines in online and face-to-face environments to cater all student cohorts. Actually, we are Australia's most experienced and largest online university with a very well-established online learning management system that we use. And when I say one of the most experienced and largest, okay, I will revert back to some of the statements that Chantelle has put together. Okay, it's all because of our partners like IT Masters that we have got this sort of a badge to it. So I'm very proud about our affiliation with IT Masters as well. So the next slide, thanks, Shane. So let's, when we look Charles Sturt in terms of the IT courses, we are well ranked in IT courses. We are ranked actually among top 3 universities in Australia for the for the computing graduates who gets jobs. Through our School of Computing, Mathematics and Engineering, we offer a range of actually market-focused postgraduate courses that are actually recognized by industry and accredited by the professional bodies as well. The other thing that we are very proud about is this: we have got a diverse sort of a staff pool with academics actually working in emerging areas of AI, data mining, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, to name a few. So the next slide, Shane. Okay, so as Chantelle pointed out in her presentation as well, since 2002, Chartered has partnered with IT Masters to deliver a unique sort of a portfolio of online postgraduate qualifications that are tailored towards IT professionals. And this partnership has actually enabled Chartered to become Australia's largest provider of postgraduate qualification. And again, as I said, okay, a title we proudly held since 2009. And our courses are co-delivered with Charles Stretton IT Masters, each actually responsible for 50% of the subjects and ensuring that students benefit from both the rigorous academic knowledge, okay, and the real world industry expertise, as Chantelle pointed it out in her presentation as well. Next, please. Okay, so when we look at the IT sector as a whole, okay, certain areas actually are showing significant growth in terms of the global demand. And particularly when we talk about cybersecurity, there is actually a need for skilled professionals. But on the other hand, there are there is still a global skills shortage in roles as developers, network specialists, okay, particularly those with expertise, okay, in developing and managing cloud infrastructure. So we also have here you can see a quick sort of a snapshot of the job prospect or career prospects. Okay, it's been taken from seek.com.au. And here you can see some of the highlights of the potential careers for IT graduates, okay, especially if you are trying to basically focus on these key areas of IT like cybersecurity, networking, and cloud. As we can see it here, there's a high demand for these disciplines, and there are ample opportunities in the job market across these areas, and expected to see strong job growth over the next 5 years or so. Next slide, please. Okay, so IT Masters have got a lot of courses at a level of that we will talk about here quickly in my slide, covering graduate certificate and master's sort of a level. But if we look at the Australian qualification hierarchy, okay, I think everyone understands this, that we sit just above the bachelor's level or undergraduate level. Okay, this is where the graduate certificates actually fit. Okay, and the master's level is the next level, and the highest level of qualification is the doctorate up there. So the next, please, Shane. Thank you. So here is actually a quick sort of overview of available IT masters and chartered courses. Chantelle again has highlighted a few of them. As you can see, we offer a range of graduate certificates, master's degree, graduate diplomas across various disciplines within IT. And our offerings actually include specialized pathways as well, okay, in cloud computing and virtualization, cybersecurity, networking, and system administration, project management. And we even have an MBA with a focus on computing there as well. So the courses marked with a star icon are eligible for Commonwealth supported places, offering courses with reduced fees, as Chantelle highlighted as well. Next, please. So you can select the courses based on your interest, and these courses actually cover the wider area of cybersecurity, networking, and cloud computing domain. And these courses equip students with highly specialized skills that are actually directly applicable in today's tech-driven landscape. Next, please. So for the entry requirement for these courses, okay, bachelor's degree from recognized tertiary education, okay, or 2 years of relevant work experience, okay, that is very much needed to be able to basically get into our grad certs. That's pretty much. I think, Shane, that's all from me. And feel free to reach out directly to me. My email address is up there as well. And look forward to basically answering some questions that people will have for me.
Right. And while we're doing that, I'll leave that slide up, but I'll draw your attention back to a couple of things that you spoke about before. It's my understanding that both the MBA and the project management streams are they may not be unique, but they're certainly very unusual in that the MBA is very focused on computing. So you do half of the subjects as actual management subjects, and the other half are in your area. So you can do an MBA in cybersecurity. Is that what you would think about it?
That's right. Yeah. So a student can specialize in specific areas, as one of the ones that you have highlighted, cybersecurity, that is highly popular at the moment. So it gives that sort of a flavor for people who would like to basically have their career being built around management and having that sort of skill set, okay, in terms of the technical side, such as cybersecurity as well.
Yeah, and I guess, and it's the same with project management. In fact, one of our students who did our project management degree, who worked in railways as an engineer, said it was a great course, but it was very IT focused. But that is what it is designed to be. It's designed to be for people in IT careers who want to skill up in project management. And the same with the MBA. It's designed so that you can get that management skill set, so that when you're in a larger organization, in particular where they demand an MBA, you get a chance to then continue to specialize in your area, whether that be cybersecurity or cloud or networking or anything like that. So Sabih, it'd be interesting just to sort of talk about how we keep the subjects up to date. I know we have a bit of a process, but there's an official university process, isn't there? And you take us through reviews every year, every 2 years for all of our degrees?
That's right. That's right. So we have got a very rigorous sort of a process in Chelmsford in terms of keeping an eye on the health of our courses. Okay, actually we call it health check. Okay, and every year, okay, each and every course that gets offered in Chelmsford actually get picked up, okay, and get categorized into categories, okay, how it has been performing in terms of course, starting from enrollment numbers, student experience, okay, content, okay, in terms of what market is actually offering and all that, okay. And so we actually keep a very close eye in terms of what we offer and how, and of course, okay, the quality piece of it as well.
Excellent. I was also going to ask you about the entrancing. I know that one of the slides that Chantelle had was about pathways, and we talk about pathways a lot because pathways are not about just getting into the course. And a lot of people come to us and say, well, how can I get in? I haven't studied. I'm not quite sure what the percentage is, but quite a high number of our students have either never studied at university or haven't studied at university for like 10, 15 years or more, and they feel a little bit unsure about it. And so what we offer in a couple of ways is eligibility is one of the things that we do. We offer what we call an eligibility service. And that is in our breakout room called admissions and eligibility. And what happens there is that Anna, who is there, actually looks at, you send in your resume and what you've done and what you'd like to do. And Anna then says, well, if you did this and did that, and you maybe did our graduate certificate in career transition, then that would give you the qualifications to be able to then enter a master's degree, as well as it happens to be a CSP related graduate certificate. So you would be able to save a little bit of money on that. And so what we try and do in a holistic manner is help you plan out study so that you can not only finish in a reasonable time, get a good academic grounding, but at the same time be able to map it out in a way that will get you through faster and maybe even save you a little bit of money against paying, the full price for a master's, which is, let's not be unreasonable about it. It's over $40,000 for a full master's. But if you map it out, there are ways you can save up to about 50% of that cost over the course of the 3 or 4 years that you might take to do it. I do notice that there haven't been any questions in the main room. I think a lot of people are in our breakout rooms at the moment. I would also suggest that you speak if you're finding that it's fairly busy in, say, for example, Anna's room because of eligibility and credit questions. The course advisors can also advise a little bit on that sort of stuff too. So Ryan and Nikki will be able to answer a lot of those questions because they have a similar amount of knowledge to Anna, but they're bit more specialist on course advice. So it's worthwhile having a bit of a chat round if you find that you're waiting to get a question answered. And I think the thing that, just as an overall statement about the partnership between Charles Sturt and IT Masters, is it has been going for a while and it's very collaborative. So, for example, we can't talk about these things until they happen, but we are always talking about potential new courses for the future, as are Charles Sturt themselves, and we try and work together on coming up with things that people may want. If you've been on our mailing list for a while, you may have seen that we sent around some surveys around particular courses to see if people are interested. And, we're actively working towards getting those out, but they do take time to get through the university system. Is there...
Well said, Chen. Actually, I think when we talk about IT Masters partnership, okay, it's the open communication that we have, okay, with the university, okay, and that is driving it, okay, to improve it, every year, okay, and trying to make sure that it keeps on flourishing as well. So.
Yeah, from our point of view, we're very proud to be doing it in the way that we do. I think there's not many other university partners that are involved in quite the same we are in terms of teaching half the subjects and developing the courses in collaboration with the university. So we like to feel that we're doing, a reasonable job at that, and we try and take on board when people tell us that we're not. But it is an exciting partnership, and it's very good for us to hear that. We've got a few more minutes until our next guest speaker. Please feel free to put anything in the chat or in the questions. But I would otherwise suggest that we'll just maybe sort of chat about stuff for a little while. Chantelle, is there anything that you'd like to ask Sabih? I mean, you've been here and understood most of what the relationship's been like for some time.
I can't think of a question to ask Sabih because we already ask him way too many questions. He hears from IT Masters often. Because one of the things that we do try and do is if we have a question that would normally be a student going to the course director asking, we go to the course director and pass on the answer to that one. We're not saying you can't go to your course director. Sabih is always happy to hear from students. But often they're already in contact with us and they're like, yeah, you can sort that out for me. And we're happy to do it.
I've got a bit of a curveball to ask. Obviously, AI and ChatGPT are things that are coming up all the time. And officially, university has set some rules about what you can and can't do. How do you think that's going to change education over the next couple of years? Because we're really right at the pointy end now of trying to cope with that. That's for both either you, Chantelle, or Sabih.
My thoughts on AI is obviously we need to adjust subjects to include it because AI is here. It's not going anywhere. People will be using it in the workplace. But it's really important for us to adjust things so that students really understand as they study. You can't just put things into AI and come up with a good answer. It's pretty obvious when students have done that. And it doesn't work in a workplace either. Like if your work asked you a question and you put it into ChatGPT and just copied and pasted the answer, it probably wouldn't be relevant. So I think we need to, like, we've got some assessments currently and we're bringing in more. I think it's really important to utilize AI in the classroom because it's always going to be here and it's going to get better and better. But at the same stage, it's not going to replace entirely people thinking. So we need to put it to make it so that students are using it in a way that is comparable to how they would use it in the real world, well, outside of a school environment, in a workplace.
Well said, Chantelle. And I think universities at the moment are also trying new things, okay, and trying to make sure that somehow the other, okay, we can use it to impart better quality education as well. Okay, so we have been trying to do some trials in some of the subjects as well. Okay, where if we can utilize it one way or the other, okay, to be able to teach better, okay, yeah, and we are experimenting with few of the assessments at the moment as well, but it's a big focus in coming year or so, okay, how we will be able to basically have this adopted, okay, of course, in terms of making sure that it goes to the advantage of imparting the education as well, okay. Of course, there are effects around how it can be used by the students as well. But on the other hand, you have seen quite a few case scenarios floating around at the moment that it is being used for the advantage as well to learn new things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's like any new technology. It's going to feel a bit threatening to start with, but we will find ways to do it. And it reminds me that we also need to think about it in terms of like the university has a tool called Turnitin that we ask the students use, which is designed to help students figure out whether what they've done in terms of referencing, which may be an unusual term for some of you who haven't studied for a while, but in terms of referencing and also making sure that you haven't put in parts of information that you may have copied from, you know, an article or whatever, in terms of plagiarism and stuff, it helps you find that in advance so you don't get marked down for it when you actually submit assignments. So it's, I know a number of students think it's the bane of their life, but it's actually a tool that can be used for good, not for evil in that sense. And so anyway. Okay, I think it's now time to say thank you very much, Sabih, for giving us your time this evening. And we're about to introduce our next guest speaker tonight. So if people have got questions for Sabih, please put them in the Q&A, and he'll be around for a little while longer, and we can go back to them later on as well when everybody comes in. But now I would like to introduce Dr. George Thomas. Now, George Thomas is actually a doctor, and I did want to speak about the doctorate a little bit more with Sabih, and didn't get around to it because we did used to offer a Doctor of IT program, which has stopped being offered in the last year or so, but you can still do a PhD with Charles Sturt and enter in via one of our pathways. There is a defined pathway for it now. We will be giving more information about that to people who want to know next year. But George is one of our doctor successors. He not only works for IT Masters part-time, and we take up a lot of his time, which I'm sure he does his head in at various times, but also he has a career outside. And we thought it'd be great to just hear a little bit about George's cyber career, because that is ultimately what our students want to do. Hi, George, how are you?
Shane, thanks very much. Yeah, look at this awesome photo.
It's
Wow,
very pretty.
it is. You're right. Just proving it's there. It's there too. See. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, as Shane said, I'm one of the subject mentors for two subjects, so cyber warfare, terrorism, and server administration. And that might be kind of that's a little strange, but as I step through this very short deck, it will probably make sense how this all came about. So we'll keep going. I didn't know, it said my cyber career. Oh, okay. So I didn't add those photos, but thank you.
I thought I would, you know.
Spice it up a bit.
Yes.
I didn't know how far back to go, so I thought I'll start at almost the beginning, which was 1996. So, 26 Olympic Games in Atlanta, first photos of Pluto. I think it was still a planet at that stage. And, you're close. I actually had it looked a bit like that. It was a compact Presario. I think it was a Pentium 75. But this kind of started my interest in technology. So before that, I wanted to do other things. I wanted to be a usual kid stuff. I wanted to be a jet pilot or fly planes and that sort of thing. Although with the amount of flying I've done over the last sort of 30 years, I definitely don't think that's something I want to do. So this started my interest. I think initially I was very much focused in technology, not so much cybersecurity because it didn't really exist back then. Obviously I knew what a virus was and that sort of thing, but that was pretty much the extent of it. And from there, I think, I did things like learned, I had a information technology subject in high school. I learned, Visual Basic 5, 6, VBA, all those sorts of fun things. But if we skip forward, I've made it really nice and simple, and it's going to help cue me. I've gone through a bit of a timescale of my career. So as I said, back in 96 to 99, obviously high school, I did information processing and technology, and I did my Cert 2 in IT. And I know I was in a breakout room before, and someone else has done something similar, doing a Cert 2 in IT. At this time, obviously, I had a very big interest in technology, but I thought I'm going to do a business degree. So after I graduated in 2000, 2001, I started my business degree, and I very quickly found out that, yeah, this isn't really for me. I think I wanted to, get back into technology. I was really, at this stage, it was like, macro and microeconomics. I'm sure there are folks that really like that. Corporate law, which I kind of did like, but, at this stage, I thought, oh, I want to get into technology and also kind of want to make some money. So in 2001, I got my first IT job, and I think again from the breakout room and having a few conversations in the past, sort of 50 minutes, I took an IT support job, which was in Brisbane at the time. And after about 6 months, they said, "Oh, we're going to shut this down, and do you want to move to Melbourne, or do you want to just not have a job?" So I'm like, "All right, to Melbourne I go," and off I went. And so in that particular organization, I'd stepped through a varying level of IT roles. So IT support, got promoted to systems administrator. So I stepped away from the customer side of things and started working on infrastructure to systems engineer roles. I think I made senior systems engineer over that sort of 5 years. And then I wanted something different. Now, this is where my involvement with IT Masters starts. I should also mention, sorry, back in 1999, I attended I guess a presentation with, I think it was Comtech at the time. Was it Comtech still, or? And it was the, get your MCSE and a degree at the same time. Yeah. See Chantelle smiling.
That sounds like our marketing. Yep.
Yeah, so this was back in maybe it was 2000, but yeah, this obviously interested me, but at the time I was like, well, I don't really have the money for that. Hence I should get a job. And so, yeah, that sort of started my interest in, I've got to get that MCSE. And so I did that. And so at the time, in sort of 2005, 2006, I studied my Microsoft certs. I got my, MCP and then my MCSE. And then I moved to the MCSE with security specialism. So that's where I ended up. And that was when I was at Dimension Data. So I worked there. I was on a back-to-back contract, which is now, now NTT. I got my MCSE and I decided that I wanted to start moving towards management. And that's when I finally contacted IT Masters to say, hey, can I get into the Master of Management program? So this was the Master of Management with a specialism in information technology.
It was the proto MBA. So it's the MBA now. MBA computing. Yeah.
There you go. So I did that and I got told, you're going to have to start with the grad cert. Because at that time, remember, I didn't like my undergrad and I had about, 7 years of experience, and I had a few vendor certs. And this was you need to do the grad cert. So I did the grad cert in management, specialism in information technology. I got some credits, I think, for some of the Microsoft subjects that I did. And then I went through and did, I did, ethics with Islam and I did marketing, I think, was in there, and finance was in there, and all that sort of fun stuff. And then while I was doing that, this is interesting, Scott became IT manager. While I was doing that, a contact of mine reached out to me and said, we're looking for an IT manager. And by the way, this is someone that always called me to fix their printer for some reason. And I'm like, don't you have like an IT department? And this was a sort of mid-sized law firm. I guess if you looked at my LinkedIn, you'll work out who it is. But and they said, oh yeah, but that person's left and they're looking for an IT manager. And I said, look, I'm doing my master's at the moment, but I haven't finished. And to be honest, I just thought there is no way I'm going to get this job. But I can only try, right? Anyway, they offered me the job. And so the great thing about that was then they paid for half of the rest of the degree. So not only did I get this job in where I wanted to go, because they said, oh, you're doing this master's, that's great. You've got some of this stuff that's relevant. You've got this technical background as well. You're like perfect for the job, but hey, we'll pay to help finish the rest of it. So I did that till about 2012. It was really good. I'm obviously learned a lot on the job. Made my fair share of errors in judgment. And in 2012, I decided that I was going to. I didn't decide. My wife and I had a conversation. I always wanted to work overseas, and I said, and she wasn't keen. We just got married, and I said, look, how about I apply for one job, and if I get it, then sure. If not, I'll just forget about it. She goes, yeah, that's impossible. Anyway, I got the job. So off we did. We moved. One of the things that I mentioned in the breakout rooms is moving to the USA. They wanted a degree. So luckily, I'd finished my master's degree. And so when I went to immigration, they said, here it is. Now, one of the things that did happen while I was there is they were confused because I didn't have a bachelor's degree. And that kind of really made the immigration people kind of scratch their heads. I explained it and they let it through. The problem is that actually happened again. And so what you'll see, did I have it in there? You'll see there's a big infotech. I actually went back and did the bachelor's degree after I did the master's degree, just because it would stop them asking questions. And so I did that. And obviously it was, I went to IT Masters, CSU. So look, this is the problem I have. And so I had to do some more subjects and all that sort of thing. But at the same time, I also enrolled in the Doctor of Information Technology. So what I'm going to say is there were times where I'm like, why did I do this? Like, it was very, very long. And I also had my son, he was born at the same time. I was working in New York. I was working some crazy hours and I'm doing a doctorate. But I think looking back, it was absolutely worth it. I think the opportunities that it's given me, apart from the fact people in the office call me doctor, which I found pretty awkward for the first sort of 3 months. They're like, hey, Dr. George. I'm like, no, really? Now I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. It's all good. But look, I think that's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I started mentoring with IT Masters 2019, I think. So it's been 5 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years. Yeah, look, I've since had a lot of roles. I've had obviously a lot of senior management roles. I work for Vicinity now. Prior to that, I was at Deloitte. Prior to that, I was at Cause. So yeah, I know I only had 10 minutes and I just realized it's 8 o'clock. But yeah, if you've got any questions, I'm sorry, I've just like blasted through that.
That is exactly what we were asking you to do, it as defined on the tin. You speak to a lot of our students, and by all means, people, please put questions in. In the absence of any other questions, I will try and fill the gap a little bit. You obviously speak to a lot of our students. How many of them do you think have two questions? One is, as you said, you got support from the company that you worked for. Do you think a lot of students get that sort of support? My understanding is they probably do, but we don't collect statistics on it because it's not any of our business, really, unfortunately.
If I think about the environments that I've worked in the past sort of 5 years, 10 years, I think less than before.
Right.
I feel like that was like a 2000s thing. I feel like maybe budgets are a little bit tighter nowadays, so maybe not. But there is the advantage of Commonwealth supported places as well. I don't know how they're going at the moment, but I used one of those because one thing that's not in here is I also did a grad cert in higher education learning and teaching, because I think I mentioned that I thought surely I could do this better. And so I went and did a more formal qualification in higher education learning and teaching back in 2022. And I used a Commonwealth supported place for that. And so, you know, I knew at that point any person that was going to pay for that was probably going to be me. So the fact that I could, you know, get that subsidized was amazing. And I think that, I don't know, is that still a thing? I think it is, right? There's still CSP spots that you can use. So
Absolutely.
take advantage of that, I'm going to say.
Large number of our students do take advantage of CSP places. I don't think it'll be around for very much longer. I'm sure the current government will change the rules at some point, but at the moment, yes, absolutely, it is a great pathway for people to do the grad certs, and it does help people go through. As I was saying a little bit earlier, we have found pathways for students where they can, you know, credit them against their masters and take that pathway all the way through.
One thing I'll also say is, so with the doctorate, you know, there's obviously a cost involved in that. And so I used fee help, as I think many do. And by the way, I'm not saying that everyone's going to experience this, but you know, it comes out of your, like, the ATO does it, right? They're the ones that deduct it. Let's just say I paid it off really quickly.
Yeah. And did you also pay it off because you earned more money because of those degrees?
That's what I was getting at. Like, put it this way, it went away very quickly, and then it was like an awesome pay rise. So I'm going back to the opportunities that I got because of that. So because of, you know, I've got, and don't get me wrong, I got a lot of, you can see there, I've got like a whole bunch of industry certs as well. I've got CISB, CISM, CIPM. You know, it's very annoying for credits and maintenance fees. But once I got the, I'm not saying everyone should do a doctorate, but once I got that, I think the opportunity is just expanded immensely. And yeah, the ATO definitely helped me pay that off. I think it took about 18 months. It was like crazy.
And you got to claim some of the cost.
I did. Now, maybe that's a conversation for another day. I did have some, there was a justification process with the ATO, because I think they might put it in the same bucket as, like, I don't give out tax advice, but I'm not an accountant. But the short answer is yes.
Yeah, some people can do it, not everybody.
Yeah.
But yes, it's yeah, that is great. And one of the reasons that I asked you to do this talk was because it does give some examples to people who have actually studied our courses. You've, you know, achieved so much stuff. For those who don't know, Vicinity own most of the big shopping centers in Australia that the other people don't own. Vicinity are the big competitors, aren't they? To, I've forgotten the name of the other people. Yeah. Westfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we own Chadstone, QVB, formerly the Myer Centre Brisbane, but now Uptown. We just acquired 50% of Lakeside Joondalup. We own a whole, I think it's 26 billion in assets. So something like that. But yeah, most people haven't heard of us until we talk about what we own. Emporium, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big
And
role
we're
looking
publicly
after.
listed as well. We're ASX listed.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on and obviously the subjects that you teach, cyber warfare and terrorism, and what was the other one?
Server administration. So you can see how that happened.
That's good. But yes, thank you for coming on and speaking about it, because I think it does let people know, a lot of our students haven't done formal education before coming to us. And so
Yeah,
it's nice to see that you can go the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, in a couple more minutes, we'll be asking Lauren on to talk to another former student, although somebody who's just finished, and we will go on to the next thing, and hopefully you'll have more people that want to speak to you in the breakout room, George. Now, I hope you've been getting some good questions there about cyber.
Yeah, definitely. It's been good. So I'll probably jump back in there.
No problems. Thank you very much. I will contact Lauren and try and get her across to the main room. But in the meantime, Sabih, what's been your experience with IT Masters students who haven't had an educational background before? How do you feel that they are able to, to come to it?
Shane, the courses portfolio of IT Master is now quite vast to cover uh, different type of cohort of students coming. Okay, I will take an example of graduate certificate in career transition, computing in career transition. Okay, is one of the best pathway. Okay, for an individual who wants to basically build the foundations, okay, around understanding information technology as a discipline, okay, and do it well. Of course, for our grad certs, okay, if they have got a 2 years of work experience working in industry, but they haven't got a formal qualification or formal bachelor's degree. Okay, so graduate certificates are the best pathway for that. And since we have launched this grad cert, I can't remember, Chantelle, when did we do that? But I think it's been a good sort of proposition for people to be able to basically step into and take a postgraduate qualification rather than going back and doing a university qualification of a bachelor's degree that is long enough. Okay, and move towards a postgraduate qualification by doing those grad certs and taking a journey towards a master's later on as well.
Absolutely. I think it's hard when you are mid-career and you've been out of university for a long while to go back and study a bachelor's with 18-year-olds as well. I think that does make a difference, when doing a grad cert maybe. Yeah. Okay, it is time to, talking of students, it's time to welcome Lauren Veenstra to have a chat to us now about the student experience, and hopefully, Lauren, you've been able to speak to a couple of potential students in the breakout room along with Don. But you've been a student of ours for a little while. You've been just recently graduated with a Master of Cybersecurity, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey. And you're also a cybersecurity officer at, is it Iberdrola or Iberdrola?
Iberdrola. Thank you. I was you a couple of years ago. I was wondering, is tertiary study right for me? What's in it for me? How is that going to impact my career progression? And at the same time, wondering, I've been out of tertiary education for a while. Am I going to be able to transition back into this and manage it all with the busy lifestyle? And I heard the back end of the conversation there around being difficult to get into tertiary study. And one of the elements that we've got with CSU and IT Masters is some foundational support, some learning scaffolds that help us make that transition back into back into the tertiary study. And for me, it had been quite some years, and I was feeling rusty and concerned. But one of those foundational supports we've got is something that is called StudyLink, and it's a collection of short courses which will help you develop the academic skills to succeed and flourish within the tertiary environment, and particularly short courses addressing essay writing skills to get you up to speed so you can hit the ground running in your first subject. And I can remember pondering academic referencing, and oh, what a chore. However, there's also a study skills short course which addresses academic referencing, demystifies what that is, and really makes it far less challenging, and provides us some easy pathways to be able to manage our referencing practices and our citations within our papers that we're going to be writing along the way. So there's some great foundational supports that we have available through IT Masters and Charles Sturt University to ease that transition and set students up for success as we embark on whether it's a grad cert or then a grad cert and a master's journey. And we are all leading busy lives. And it can be challenging to contemplate fitting some tertiary study in around your current lifestyle, your work, your family commitments. Where does study fit? But one of the great positives I found working with IT Masters was the flexibility that the course program provided. Do it at your own pace. Sometimes we are busy and one subject per semester is all we can manage. Sometimes we've got a little bit more scope, so we can change that subject load to suit life circumstances at any particular point in time. And should you be busy, there is no limitation to chipping away at it one subject at a time, whatever it takes to set ourselves up for success. And when we look at the flexibility that's afforded to us in IT Masters and Charles Sturt University, whether it is a grad cert or it's a master's qualification, there's a range of subjects there across both industry and academic areas. And we can have choose your own adventure. Look at selecting subjects, that align to your career aspirations, that suit your pathway. Now, look, not all of us are a great fan of exams. And if exams aren't your thing, you can look to choose your own adventure and select subjects that impose a minimum number of exams on you as you work through that journey and set yourself up for success with balancing assessments that suit your learning style and what works for you. And with the learning journey that we embark on with IT Masters and Charles Sturt University, it is very much a supported journey. When we look to what we're doing as students, we are online and we are interacting predominantly with an online learning management system for the delivery of all of the course materials, the assessments, the learning activities. And right now we're quite fortunate in that IT Masters and CSU have recently refreshed that online learning environment. And we've got a wonderful, brand new, shiny, and highly functional online learning platform that is taking away some of those friction points, making it easy to engage with your subject content in whatever medium works for you at any particular point in time. Sometimes you'll be at home at the desk. That's me in the top corner. That's the same desk that the masters came from with my furry study buddy. And sometimes you might be on the commute and looking to interact with some of your course materials. And so that flexibility in the online learning platform affords the ability to interact with mobile devices and conventional desktop or laptop computers, and not lose out on the functionality just because we happen to be squeezing in some studies or some readings, or thinking about what the assessment structure looks like while we're on the go. And everything we need sits within that one space. So I found having a one-stop shop to work with for understanding everything I needed to do to succeed in a subject made the journey so much easier. And things might not always play out the way we expect them to in our learning journey. Lives are busy. Sometimes we have interruptions. Sometimes life circumstances conspire to whittle away at the learning time that we had put away in a schedule. And that happened to me a lot. And it was great to have a team behind me that wanted me to succeed. And if I needed an extension, if I needed to look at making alternative arrangements, it was great. I could pick up the phone. I could talk to the team at IT Masters, and they could look at facilitating whatever changes, extensions, or accommodations were needed to keep succeeding as I moved forward in that learning journey. So much so that the picture that's on the bottom right-hand side, the person standing next to me is CSU's Director of Student Success. And I find it absolutely wonderful that the university is invested at the senior leadership level of driving and facilitating student success. I did not at all feel like I was just one student in a huge online learning cohort, not at all. Relationships with the subject mentors, we were able to directly access the subject mentors when we needed to gain guidance or clarification. And it felt like there was, and I'm not going to use the word felt, there was a real relationship there between students and subject mentors and the IT Masters admin team. All of those people looking to facilitate our success as students in our learning journey. Now, one of the other aspects to online study that facilitates success is connection. And I was very pleasantly surprised to learn that there was a strong peer-to-peer network that was sitting outside of the formal CSU IT Masters environment, where we could come together as students, network, share experiences, understand that we're all grappling with the same challenges at some times, come together in informal study groups to work through some of those challenges and build camaraderie and shared learning and understanding in that learning journey as well. So I was very pleasantly surprised to find that there was a thriving and engaging online community there for peer-to-peer support. I formed some genuine relationships there. I've made friends along the way. I didn't expect that to happen when I was looking at committing to online study. And being able to share those relationships as we move forward in the learning journey, I found very supportive in knowing that we were on a journey together. There were people there to talk to, and we were all coming to the learning journey with different lived experience in terms of our workplace experience, our IT, our cyber experience, and the industry sectors that we were active in. So there was learning opportunities within that space as well that augmented the more formal learning journey at IT Masters and CSU. So I was very buoyed by the sense of community that formed within the group, and having graduated, I am still active in that informal community and looking to support the cohorts of students which are working their way through the grad cert and the IT Masters program. And I know I'm not alone in being an alumni who is still engaged in looking to support and assist some of our students coming through and achieving success in their learning journeys. And I've been quite thankful of the support from both IT Masters and Charles Sturt University in helping us all achieve success on the learning journey.
Thanks, Lauren. It's always lovely to hear that that sort of feedback, because sometimes we don't necessarily keep contact with our students as they move on as much as we might like to. And we do have a small and growing alumni group on LinkedIn, and I do apologize in advance that it's not as active as it might want to be, as we might want it to be, but we hope to do more with that group over the next year or so. Tell me though, in terms of your experience, were you working in the cyber field before you started your learning journey, as you call it?
I started cyber because I was concerned. My experience had been a very heavy engineering background, working in those sort of places that keep society ticking along. So a long career in the water sector, producing those chemicals that sanitize the water supplies right across Australia. And I became concerned about the cyber threats to those sorts of critical infrastructure assets, enough that I embarked on the learning journey. So while I had some really strong risk management discipline to bring to the mix, I had little in the way of prior learnings in cyber. And I found that did not disadvantage me in any way in being able to achieve success with IT Masters and CSU.
I'm assuming then that your study helped you get the job roles that you've been working in since then.
Let's be realistic. None of us are here for fun. Fun is what we have along the way when we're not expecting it. This is a significant investment in our time, our effort, and let's not forget there is a financial commitment involved in this as well.
Yeah. And
we're expecting a return on that investment. And my lived experience has seen me take a couple of career steps, change employers, and level up as I've been moving through the course. And I've had some people ask me, to what extent does the learning and the subjects you undertake in the Masters actually relate to real world? And it is definitely relevant. It is contemporary, so much so that one of the papers I prepared on my learning journey, I'll be presenting at this year's CyberCon in Melbourne. So that really attests to the real world value of the tertiary learning experience in cyber with IT Masters and Charles Sturt University.
That's fantastic. I wish I'd known that before. I would have made more of that. That's the sort of stuff that's music to our ears in the end. And as a sales and marketing manager, it's exciting to hear that people are actually able to achieve the sorts of stuff that we would hope that you would be able to achieve by doing our courses. And I thank you very much for taking the time yet again to come and chat to everybody. And I think it's probably time to start winding down the breakout rooms over the next minute or so. Kit and Lil, who have been fantastic tonight, putting all the stuff in the chat and making sure that the rooms are organized and speaking to people along the way. I will hopefully they will get a chance to start closing down the rooms. But in the meantime, if there's any general questions that people have, feel free to put them in the chat. In fact, there's really only a few people here now, so feel free to turn your mic on for the last couple of minutes if there's something you would like to ask or say to any of us here. We're all ears. The purpose of this evening is to try and fill in the gaps about what you might want to expect in studying with us online, part-time, etc. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question or to put a comment in the chat, etc. If you can't unmute yourself for some reason, I can always do that for you as well. But I really, I would, while we're sort of winding to those questions, I would like to say a really big thank you to everybody that has come tonight, both, people who are interested in learning and all of our team here who have been on hand and been really helpful and encouraging all the way through in making sure that, tonight could happen and that we could make it work. This is the first time we've ever done this. I know all the big universities do huge open days. They have giveaways and competitions and all sorts of stuff. I've been reading in a higher education blog about, the best one they went to gave away tickets to something or other for people randomly. That's not what we're doing. We recognize that everybody that is interested in studying with us or studies with us has a limited amount of time. We try not to waste that time too much, and we're really thankful that you bother to come along and listen to what we've got to say. By all means, feel free to give us feedback. You can email us. You can contact us via our contact forms on our web. You can give us a phone call. All of that sort of stuff. We're always interested in hearing from people about what they'd like to say. But basically, I think we'll, pretty much start to wrap it up. I thought maybe, and this is unplanned, so it's going to surprise people, but I thought, Chantelle, have you got any closing comments, and maybe Sabih as well?
Sorry, my mouse cursor was disappearing for a second and I couldn't find it. Obviously, thank you for everyone. It was really exciting to hear from, Sabih and George, who I hear from all the time, but also Lauren. That was really exciting to hear from, because it's good to hear that what we are providing to students is useful and that it is appreciated. And we say it all the time. I think I say it in every single orientation webinar. Call us, email us. We want to hear before you have a problem. If you have any questions, please call or email us. There is a team ready and willing to answer your questions, and it might be that this learning experience is right for you.
Fantastic. And Sabih, is there anything that you would like to offer as we sort of close down for the evening and say goodnight, basically?
First of all, I would like to thank you and Chantelle for inviting me to be here. It was very insightful, and specifically listening to George and Lauren. Okay, so what a wonderful journey both of you had, and I hope you will inspire the new students, okay, with whatever work you are doing. Okay, it's fantastic, and they keep on doing that, because we need to inspire the younger generation, the new people, new students, to be able to basically get the same sort of experience that you guys got from Charleston as well. So well done to Lorraine and George specifically. I was very excited to basically hear your journeys.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I think it's bang on 8:30, and I can't believe that we are not only on time, but exactly on time. That is just beyond all measure of expectations that would happen. But again, I would like to say a huge thank you to Sabih, to Lauren, to Chantelle, to Simon, to Don, Ian, to Leif, who is from our team and has attended in the background to answer all the tricky questions, to Kit and Lil in particular, to George, and also to Brenton, who have been manning the rooms, as well as our course advisors, Nikki and Ryan, and our eligibility person, Anna. That's quite a team we've had to put together for tonight, and it has gone remarkably smoothly. So I'm really happy with the results, and I hope that you got the information that you want. If you didn't, tell us what we missed out on, and please let us know. It sounds like somebody's turned their mic on and would like to answer a question. Is that you, Derek?
Or it's just some background noise. And we did just get one person jump into the room, but I didn't kick them out in case you have any questions. But we have recorded the main room at least.
Yes, so anybody who hasn't got all of the presentations, for example, we will be putting them up on the Charles Sturt ITM YouTube channel, which if you've done any of our short courses, you'll probably have already been to it, but we will send around an email to everybody with the links to the recordings. Some of the background rooms will possibly have been recorded. We ran into a bit of a glitch trying to get them all recorded. But in any case, we would love to hear from you more, and we will be doing this again in about 6 months or so. We aim to do it probably about twice a year, probably May and October most years. But yeah, we're hoping to hear more from you, and thank you again, everybody. It's been a lovely night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks all.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jane.